Hello, and welcome back to Bold Prediction Wrestling. Today, I am joined by the Austin Theory to my Johnny Gargano. This is the way we do it. It's Ryan Sutcliffe.
Hey.
How are you, buddy?
Greetings, people. I'm all right, fella. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. So today we're going to be doing
Loving the new merch line.
Yes, new merch, Bold Prediction Wrestling. We've got a face mask here as well. Face mask.
Hey.
Got to be safe.
Look at that.
So today we're going to be doing
true.
Let's Talk Wrestling. We're going to be doing one of these a month. This is going up in February. Quick disclaimer that if anything we say is out of date, it's because we are recording this a few days before the Rumble. So this is going up in February. I have a few guests in mind that I want on for future months. But if you or someone you know wants to come on, talk about wrestling and your side projects and that sort of stuff, then get in touch and we can do that. Ryan seems to have frozen, but while he's frozen, I'm going to carry on talking. Before we get into it, if you are watching on YouTube, you can also listen on Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud. Obviously, if you're listening on any of them, you can also watch on YouTube. We're on Instagram and Twitter. Our Twitter is @PredictionBold, and our Instagram is @BoldPrediction Wrestling. Bold Prediction Wrestling, I think it is. So basically, we're going to sit down today with my co-host, Ryan Sutcliffe. We're going to talk about how we met. We're going to be talking about what he's up to, who he is, that sort of stuff. We're going to talk about wrestling, how he got into it, what's his favorite and worst moments. And then we're going to talk about some of his side projects he's got going on. But yeah, first of all, do you remember how we met?
I do.
Go on.
It was, I was going to say love at first sight, but that sounds a bit...
No, it was love at first sight.
What? It was actually... And I could be wrong, but I'm fairly certain I'm right. We're at NXT live event in Leeds. It should have been in Manchester, but it got moved to Leeds. And do you think you were stood behind me and my mate in the line?
Yeah, I think that was right.
Or something like that.
So we were meant to go to an NXT live event in Manchester, but because of the Manchester bombings at the Ariana Grande concert, it got moved to Leeds. The only time I've ever been to Leeds. But it's mad to think that if it did happen in Manchester, we might never have met.
This podcast might never be what it is.
How weird. It's so strange, that, isn't it?
It's very weird, isn't it?
Do you remember what the main event was that night?
Do you know what? I was thinking the other day to that show, and I can't remember if Finn Balor was on the card or not. Only thing I remember is seeing William Regal when he cut a promo, and I think we saw Lars Sullivan.
Yeah.
And then I have no idea about...
Well, Finn Balor wasn't there because he was on the...
I think Bobby Roode were there.
Bobby Roode was champion at the time.
Yes.
And he was Bobby.
Was Drew there?
Yes, Drew was in the main event against Bobby Roode for the title.
Right.
And after Roode beat him, Drew got on the mic and promised to be the first British world champion. So,
well, what do you know?
He kept that promise. Also on the card, we got promised.
He did.
We got promised Shinsuke Nakamura, but for one reason or another, they didn't give us that, and they gave us Jack Gallagher instead. Bit of a difference.
Yeah.
Bit of a difference.
Yeah.
We had Sanity, because Killian Dane was chanting "Shave your back" and stuff.
Oh, was that? Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I thought that was for Lars Sullivan, but no.
No, I can't remember.
Did we see Lars Sullivan?
Yeah, he was definitely there because I've got a picture of him.
I think when we saw him, it was actually his first live event tour.
Yeah, I don't think he'd been on TV at that point because I didn't know.
No,
who he was.
yeah.
Was he with TM61?
Yes, I think he was. Yeah.
Tino
he went on his own.
Or something.
No, definitely with some people. Yeah.
So yeah, we went to NXT live event. We've also been to Raw and SmackDown together.
That's true. I feel like has it been to two of them together or just the one? We've
been to two SmackDowns and you've been to two Raws. One I was meant to go to but couldn't, And we went how many? Oh, we've been to one Hooked on Wrestling events. Was it
SummerSlam 2017?
That was it, SummerSlam 2017. We were meant to go to WrestleMania 2019, but somebody backed out.
I was hungover from a wedding, all right? I was there in spirit.
You were there in spirit, to be fair. But yeah, it's mad that we've only met like them 4 times, but we spoke we speak like all the time. And
It's
then
pretty
obviously,
much nearly every day, isn't it?
yeah, and obviously like this podcast and stuff. Like it's mad. Like
And
I said, if one of us were in a different position in the queue, or if that
yeah.
event was in Manchester, this might not be happening. Like it's just crazy to think, isn't it?
The weird thing is, we were waiting. So where the arena is, there was like a road, wasn't there? We were on the roadside,
Yeah.
sat in like a KFC, and my mate wasn't even going to go line up in the queue. It was like I was like the one who made us line up. So it's like if I had gone with him, we'd have never even been in that position.
It's just all them little events that led up to. It's crazy, isn't it?
It's mental.
So you are in. Well, you're meant to be in university. Which university is it you go to?
The agony. Leeds Arts University.
And what is it you study there?
I'm studying
meant to be,
filmmaking. Yeah, not making a lot of films because of this, but that's what I'm in for.
So you filmmaking. What got you into all that? What you hope to do with qualification, that sort of stuff?
What got me into it? That's a good question.
The simple answer is make a film, because filmmaking.
Yeah.
But
that is the main thing to be honest. But I've always just been a fan of just films. Like I think my favorite of all time is Jaws, and I've always been interested in how they made it. More of a behind the scenes guy than an actual sitting there watching guy. So when you look into that, then you look into how to get into that industry sort of thing, and it's just pretty much caught on since there. Like I never thought I'd be in the position that I'm in now, where I'm in the final year to actually, after this year, to become more part of that industry. And it's just crazy to think how fast it's all gone, really.
We'll get more into your books and stuff in a bit, but perhaps we could see you as a director role in the future for one of your books.
Possibly, yeah, possibly. Writer or director, I'm not, none of that cameraman stuff for me. It's too technical for me.
Fair enough.
I just feel the guy shouting orders.
Get me a KFC.
Yeah, now, pronto.
So yeah, we'll talk more about your books in a bit, but I want to talk wrestling first. What's your first wrestling memory?
First wrestling, right. So I honestly don't remember much of the show. I know it was a SmackDown because of the time period and who were on it, and I think it was from 2002 or 2003. And it's not even a match. I just remember a backstage segment between Hulk Hogan and Teddy Long.
Okay.
And that's literally all I can remember.
How mad's that?
From it's crazy. I don't even know what they talk. I go back to try and find it on YouTube, and it's really hard to pick up because they've done loads of stuff together. But it was just those two that I saw. That was the very first image of wrestling I had.
So how old would you have been then?
If it was 2002, 2 or 3.
Wow, still very young.
Yeah.
What got you into wrestling?
Well, I used to watch it as a kid, but I was never like seriously into it. It was more TNA I used to watch, which is now shameful to admit in 2021. But like my brother was more of a fan at me at that point, which is crazy to think now because he has nothing to do with it now. So I stopped watching for ages, and then it was shortly after when my nan died. It was just on the TV, and I just thought, I'll give it a go. Nothing better to do, and I just watched it, and it was during the 2013 when it was Daniel Bryan's little sort of rise sort of thing. So I just hooked on from there, and then from that moment I've been seriously into it from then.
It's mad.
Which is probably a poison, to be honest.
Just for you saying then about your first wrestling memory being obviously that backstage interview or interaction or whatever. One of my very first memories, obviously I've got loads of others, but the first one I actually remember and I can tell you the names of, it was a Ryback squash match.
Oh, Jesus.
Because I was a very, very late bloomer into wrestling. I just never had anything to do with it. One day my granddad turned it on and there was Ryback coming out and he goes, "You wouldn't want to be up against him, would you?" And I was like, "No." And obviously he went in and just beat up like 3 lads. I was like, okay, I can get into this. And then it just went on from there. Obviously I stopped and then came back as a lot of us do. What's your favourite wrestling memory in history?
What, match or memory, did you say?
Memory.
Oh, it's a very personal one for me. Well, there's 2. One, I'll say the first one, seeing The Undertaker live at a SmackDown taping in 2015. It were a dark segment, so he didn't make it to TV, but he came out and just buried Wade Barrett. And second one, it's that same building in Manchester. I literally sat next to you when AJ Styles won the World Championship.
Oh,
That's
that,
definitely
yeah.
the highlight.
The
Nothing
only
will top that. Not even if we go to Mania, like that'll still be there
I
up at
honestly,
the top.
yeah, especially because it was a fan favorite and it was Jinder
Yeah, yeah.
and it was
It was just beautiful. Our reactions, if they would have caught them on TV, oh my god,
and it
man.
was like in
We were
10 days.
ecstatic.
In 10 days, AJ Styles saved us from having Brock versus
Yeah.
Jinder to having Brock
Jinder Mahal.
versus.
Oh.
It's mad. So, what's your favorite match of all time then?
Very controversial. I actually rewatched it the other day. It's from WrestleMania 20. It was Shawn Michaels, Triple H versus Chris Benoit. And I know it's Benoit and we shouldn't, but it was, to this day, that is the greatest triple threat match I've ever seen in my life. If you've not watched it, I highly recommend it.
It's one of them where
Classic.
if you can separate the athlete from the person, the character from the person, then it's fine. But obviously, a lot of people struggle to do that because of what he did.
100%.
Obviously, we won't get into it. But obviously, like, a lot of people do enjoy his matches, and it's difficult this time of year as well when you're talking about the Royal Rumble and you look over 2004, and it's like, what do you say about it? You know,
you just sort of skip over it, don't you?
Yeah.
So to this day,
sorry.
to this day, I'd say he was like I say this to my mate today at work. Out of technician wise, I'd say he was the greatest of all time.
Wow.
That's higher than Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. Just the thing with his character, you could tell a story like nobody else could in his skills. It was just, yeah.
See, I'm like, because I keep saying I was like a late bloomer into wrestling. So back then, I've never seen any of his matches really. I've seen like
the you're missing out
that he's been in, and it's like it's shameful to say, but I'd never even seen a Shawn Michaels match till the other day. Like, but
that Saudi one.
Yeah, but no, he wasn't around when I was originally watching, and I haven't gone that far back to have a look. Like Stone Cold and that, they're all before my time. So it's like they come out on Raw like 3 times a year, and I'm like, I don't feel any nostalgia.
Yeah.
Right now, who's your favorite wrestler of all time? Who's your favorite wrestler right now?
I think you know the answer.
Go on.
AJ Styles. I'm never going to change it.
No.
Never going to change it.
Just because of what he did for you, taking the belt off Jinder.
I've just always followed him. Like even in TNA, I used to watch it for AJ Styles, so I've just followed his journey essentially. If I had to do a second one, I'd probably put Moxley up there.
Yeah, he AEW at the moment.
I love John Moxley.
There's so much going on over there. I'm loving it.
It's a great alternative.
Keeping about AJ Styles for a sec. I remember 2016, I think it was, when he won the title. I in work, I said to one of my mates that I was watching it and that sort of stuff. And he's like, oh, I used to watch TNA. And he's like, oh, there was this guy called AJ Styles. I was like, whoa, hang on. This guy? Do you mean WWE champion?
World-class athlete.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously you've got AJ and Mox now. About all time?
Yeah. All time. I'd have to go with Triple H. And I don't really have a reason, just because I've always resonated with Triple H like throughout his various roles apart from the Hunter Hearst Helmsley gimmick. Wasn't a big fan of that.
Yeah.
But he turned it around in the end.
Got lucky, didn't he, with DX?
Yeah. And the boss's daughter.
Yeah, I think that kind of helped, didn't it? So excluding the Royal Rumble, because that's on everybody's list, what's your favourite match type?
Right, this is a very weird one. Right, there's no real reason for it because they're not great matches. But I've always had a thing for the steel cage.
Okay.
A steel cage match.
What's your favourite steel cage match?
I love Austin versus McMahon from St. Valentine's Day Massacre in '99. I sort of enjoyed, but sort of didn't enjoy when they had the barbed wire steel cage when it was JBL versus the Big Show. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it was on top of the cage. It was just barbed wire.
Okay.
It was just stupidly mental.
No, I can't say I've seen that one.
And I think a few years ago on Raw, it was like Cody Rhodes and Goldust. I think they took on like the Shield or something inside a steel cage, and it was just fantastic match.
So you'd just say that Daniel Bryan, Big Show, and Mark Henry in a cage match isn't on that list?
Not a chance. I watched that the other day, and it was.
It's not on the list of amazing matches. No,
No, not even in the top 50, mate.
wow. My favorite match type is probably I'm a sucker for an elimination match. Stick
All right.
stick the word elimination on there, and I'm in. Like, it could be the most worst match ever, but I
What if
gotta
it were
say,
elimination Punjabi prison?
yeah, do it. Do it. I wouldn't be bothered.
Oh,
I love an elimination match. But honestly, my favorite is probably gonna have to be a Survivor Series 5-on-5 tag.
yeah.
Now, I'm gonna get it up because you won't believe that this is. It was one of the first matches I ever saw. Was a 5-on-5.
All right.
Yeah, talk amongst yourself a sec.
Hey, Ryan, how are you? I'm all right, Ryan. That's sick. I'm loving
So
the cheer. Oh, thanks, mate.
2011 was
2011.
when I started watching wrestling, and
Jeez.
this was the match that got me into Survivor Series matches, and
It's
it's
gonna be
unreal.
something daft, innit?
Team Wade Barrett,
Oh, Jesus.
which was Cody Rhodes, Dolph Ziggler, Unico, Jack Swagger,
Here we go.
and Wade Barrett
Oh
taking
my
on
God.
Team Orton of Kofi Kingston, Mason
Kofi.
Ryan,
Mason Ryan.
Randy Orton, Sheamus, and Sin Cara. Sin Cara.
What?
Sin Cara went for a move over the top rope, landed awkwardly, and had to tap out. That's the first elimination match I saw.
That's embarrassing.
I don't know. And then obviously, like, I stopped watching wrestling and came back in 2015. So I went back to Survivor Series 2014 when Ziggler was the lone survivor, and I was like, wow. And then obviously
Sting.
And then the brand split happened when it was SmackDown, and they were good to start with, like the big like main event, Raw versus SmackDown men's. Favorite WrestleMania moment?
There's so many. Literally, so. Oh, that's a tough question. I'm gonna start off by saying one that definitely isn't, and it probably should be. But when Seth Rollins cashed in, and at that point in 2015, I was like, I knew it was fake, but I just do get passionate about the stories, and I hated Seth Rollins' character. I don't even know why, because I love him now, but because he was just a heel, I thought I'm gonna boo him. So I went apeshit when he cashed in and won the title. But now looking back on it, it's really good.
He was like, because I got back into wrestling January 2015, and he was in like, he was Money in the Bank. He was big heel, relying on the authority and all that. And it was sort of like I know what you mean. Like, you don't like him, but you're meant to not like him. I was sort of like, it was at this point, because originally when I was watching, I was like, obviously you hear, oh, it's fake. And it's sort of like, how is it fake? Are the moves fake, but the storyline's real? Or, when you're younger, you think this sort of stuff. But then coming back and watching it, it's like, you get a completely different view on it, especially with like social media and how it is. And you've got all these backstage politics and that you can see. Like, it's all completely different now. But yeah, that Seth Rollins one, when he came back, I was like, I don't like him at all. And then I seen a post around SummerSlam when he'd beaten John Cena. And it said all the things he did. He was like, beat Randy Orton in a cage match. Beat Randy Orton, Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns in a fatal 4-way. Beat John Cena for the United States Championship. And I was like, he's actually done quite a bit. And then, he cheated. He cheated to do all them. But I was like, I kind of like his character. And then when he won a Slammy for Superstar of the Year, and then he was coming back, and everyone thought he was going to be a babyface, and I just love him. I think he's one of my favorites.
Oh yeah.
So what 100%. Is your WrestleMania moment then?
Favorite WrestleMania moment? I think. Oh Jesus! We haven't really had great ones the past few years, have we? Really?
No.
Apart from the Hardy's return, were pretty good at 33. I marked out so much for that in that Raw Tag Team ladder match.
Yeah, that was
really good. In terms of like main event though, I didn't really mark out much for Bryan winning at 30, so I can't really say that. I think 31 when Triple H and Sting had like a little they had a match, but in the match, like DX came back and NWO.
NWO.
I really liked that.
See, I
but
was
in
watching
terms
that,
of, like,
and I was like, obviously, because like I didn't go back and watch originally. I'm sat there, and I'm like,
yeah,
who
yeah.
are all these guys? Why should I care? Like, who are they? But like now, 5 years later, 6 years later, whatever, when I'm looking at it, I'm like, all right, like I get it now.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
gone back and I've researched DX and the NWO, and like, right, okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
I was going somewhere with that, but I've completely lost my train of thought. The other one, back in 2012, late 2011, 2012, Chris Jericho returned, and he did his gimmick
Yeah.
of just walking around the ring and not talking.
Yeah.
I hated him. I could not stand him. I was like, who is this guy? Why are the fans going wild? Like, who is he? Why should I care about him?
Yeah.
And that's like when Matt Riddle came to NXT, and I was like, oh, it's Matt Riddle. I'm like, why should I care? As someone who hasn't seen him outside of WWE, you have not gave me a reason to care for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, that sort of stuff. I think that WWE need to tell you more about who these people are from outside the bubble, sort of thing. Yeah, come on, I'm waiting for your WrestleMania moment. Or is it not happened yet?
I'd have to say, well, probably not really. I don't think it'll happen until we're actually there in California. Well, hopefully there. We are trying. And there'll probably be a bunch from that night. So I'm going to save it for then. But I'd say for now, I think end of an era match when Shawn Michaels was super kick taker into that pedigree, and everybody thought that were it. End of the streak. Obviously not, but it's just a cool moment.
Best false finish ever.
Literally, nothing will ever top that false finish.
Because of that's like what, 20 years, 19, 20, I don't know. All them years built up to that. Super kick into a pedigree. Inside Hell in a Cell. 1, 2. Beautiful. He couldn't have kicked out any later. Like, it was just
exactly. The very last millisecond.
But that's just
superb.
So I want to talk now about your side projects. You have, in the past couple of months, you've published 2 books.
Yeah, baby.
Basically, I'm going to give you the floor. Tell me about your books and what's going on with them. Have you got them with you? Are you able to show us what they look like?
I think it's gonna. Is it showing in the right order for you?
Yeah.
It's got mirror reflection mine. This is my second one, the one that I'm probably most proud of, to be honest. I do have the first one. Just one sec. Ugh.
I think I've got it. Yeah.
There we go. So it was really weird. Like, I've always, as a kid, I used to always write stuff and tell stories. I used to do my nan. I used to do a weekly newspaper for her every week, and she'd read it. It was probably shy, but she always said it was great and stuff.
Nice.
So I've always been into telling stories. I just love the ability to tell someone a story. If it's just something you've created, you've put something out there into the world. It's it's your vision, and you're telling. I just think it's the way you can. I don't really want to say move people because I'm not Martin Luther King, but the way you can entertain people so they can escape their reality, for even if it's just the first book, 30, 40 pages, then if it's good or not, I've done my job, because they're out of their reality. And especially now with COVID, that's why I really wanted to push getting out, because you put the news on now, it's for a full straight year, it's been doom and gloom every night. And
social media is the same.
100%. Social media is one of the worst things out there, to be honest, unless you're trying to promote something, which has been a blessing, really.
Age of Reckoning, that's your first novel. Tell me about that. Baby. What's the story, without giving spoilers away, what's the story to it? What's it about?
So it follows a businessman, an entrepreneur, who's recently divorced, and him and his missus had a miscarriage, and they split up from there. And basically, he's caught himself. I'm going to go really drastic and dramatic here. He's found himself in the middle of an alien apocalypse, essentially.
Okay.
And
I didn't see that coming, and I've got the book.
He's not a selfish man, but he has those traits of that typical businessman. He don't really care as long as there's money coming in, sort of thing. And he has to learn and teach himself to care for us. He finds this old man on the way called Oren, and they bounce off each other, and he's like an older mentor that you don't really know he needs, sort of thing. And it's like the book's like a full circle of him essentially learning to give a shit about others and fight for what he thinks, fight for what is right. So he has to find his ex-wife to make sure she's safe as these aliens are waging war. And he gets abducted along the way. He meets back up with her, but they have to like try and save humanity from essentially being nuked by by the alien life. And it's just, yeah, it's a short one. So I just wanted to get something out there to see if I could actually get it out there. But
can you describe to
I think
me
it's a good read.
what the aliens look like? It's a bit of a random question, but
I do have a fully description. So let me try and find it.
Because when
I say fully description, but
because the first thing I think when I hear like aliens, for some reason, is the Simpsons aliens that are basically octopuses. Then obviously you've got what's his face from American Dad.
Yeah.
Oh, what's his
name? I don't know his name. Like, I know.
Why do I not know his name? Oh my god, it's like it's on the tip of my tongue. Oh, I can picture him.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're on about. I've never really watched it though, so I don't know his name. Like,
I'm gonna have.
I think it's a Google job.
To Google it. I'm gonna hate myself when I.
It's something Slavish as well, like a Darren or something, won't it?
Roger. Like a Darren, mate. You couldn't have been further close. You couldn't have been any closer, really.
Roger the alien.
So yeah,
I'm really struggling to find this description for you.
Do it off the top of your head.
All right. Oh, but it's really hard to. Basically, the creatures with, I'd say, like spider-like legs and arms or whatever, but the heads are like. I'm not doing this. Right, that finger there. That's like the head.
You're not.
Sort of thing.
Move it closer in the middle of the camera. Okay.
Like that.
Can you describe that for our audio listeners?
Oh, bloody hell.
It's like your little finger. Just your little finger bent over.
If you crook your little finger, you get like an upside down C. Just picture that.
Nice.
This is really taking a turn. I apologise to the audio listeners.
So, son of, how do you pronounce it? Maloney?
Oh, this is the one. Son of Maloney.
Son of Maloney. That's your pride and joy.
This is
what's it
my
called?
Pride and Joy, right? Yeah.
That's the one. That's your second novel. I assume that's not a sequel then.
No.
Completely different.
This is not even in the same universe, sort of thing.
Okay, so
I literally talk to you all day about this one.
Yeah, same again. Tell us about it, what the story is without spoilers, and yeah.
So basically, it's a mafia crime thriller. It's set in 1982, and it basically there's a big mafia don in New York. He's like the king of the city, and he dies just of old age, and it's then the title of don is passed down to his eldest son, who's actually not even in New York. He's over in London. He's over in London because years ago they were a vendetta. They had killed some guy's son, and this guy wanted to kill the son of Maloney, the son of the Don, sort of thing. So they sent the son in hiding. So it's his story. He comes back to take his dad's title and to just have the family, but the family's very broken with the loss of the Don, and just, it's like a new generation rising against the old within the family, and he has to sort of stabilize it as well as like dealing with because they're Irish American mafia, this one, whereas the Irish American and the Italian American families have always had wars with each other. I don't really know what it's about, but they've just hated each other in New York, which is like real life. So involved that, and he has to like take down this Italian mafia who's coming for him, and it's essentially just his story of how he solidifies power and reestablishes himself, because he goes through a big tragedy, which I won't give any plot details in. There's a betrayal in there as well, and he learns a lot about himself, and he has to know to not put himself first, and he's got to be there for his family. There's this Don. But it's genuinely the most research I've ever done into any project ever, because I've had to get stuff right on this one.
I was going to say, because 1982, you said?
Yeah.
And like, obviously you weren't born then. So you're going to have to do some sort of research
Yeah,
about mafia crime and what the times were like back then and that sort of stuff.
yeah. I've literally, it's been crazy.
I'll put the link in the description, but where can people buy that if they're interested? Both of them.
So the main marketplace for these two is on Amazon. Only on Amazon, should I say? Because it was I published it through an Amazon service, so the rights remain there. But they're easy to find if you just search my name in. Both come up straight away. There are two Kindle versions for paperback and Kindle versions for both, essentially. So you can choice. I think it's a bit cheaper on Kindle. But
okay, I'll make sure to
I'm not
put
going to tell
that
you to
in
buy
the
Kindle.
description so they can just jump there and do that.
Thank you very much.
So that Son of Maloney got released 18th of January, is that right?
It was, yeah, 18th of January.
Have you got another one in the pipeline ready to, can you drop some exclusives here?
I actually can, you know. So
okay.
I can confirm that the next book I will be doing will be a direct sequel to Son of Maloney.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. And I can,
okay.
It'll be a longer read.
Okay.
There's a hell of a lot that's going to go down in this next book. But with this one, I plan to build like a little franchise around it, around that family and their, let's say, adventures in life sort of thing. But that will be probably, we're looking at maybe August to September release because there's so much work I need to put into that yet.
Yeah, and obviously, like, again, more research, and you want to make sure that it's better than the first. And you said it's be a longer read than the first. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it will. Because basically it's going to be like two main narratives going on. Because the family are expanding to Las Vegas and they're setting up a casino empire, and we're going to delve into that. And then we're also going to delve into what it's like back in New York. Things are changing in 1986. I think, I could be wrong on this, I think President Reagan is towards his end of his thing, and he did stuff with taxes and all that, so that's going to be involved. And it's just, the world were changing in late 80s. The Cold War might have just ended, but the Cold War's in this one, and I've included the Cold War. But it's just stuff like that. And then, you know, it's going to all play out fine, but yeah.
I'm looking forward to that then. So obviously that'll be available on Amazon as well.
Yeah.
What do you hope to do in regards with your writing in the future? Like, what do you hope to go with it?
I just hope, because now that I've done it, I know I can do it. I just need to get bigger, and I think the main source in that is the way I market my stuff. I get myself shown more on places and platforms, and even just going to other publishers. Yeah, like this. But that's the main thing, because as soon as you got one out there, you've essentially sorted. Like, I wanted to be a writer, and you know, I'm a writer sort of thing. But I just need to
you have a book that you have published. Like, that's massive.
Yeah. It's still surreal. Like, I don't think it's really sunk in.
So many people write for fun and dream of like publishing it and that. Can you talk about the publish part of it and how you managed to do it? You say it was through Amazon, but I don't know anything about that. Can you share that?
Yeah, of course. I think I can share it. I mean, if not, I'll find out, I guess. But I've been looking for like years on stuff to publish, a year about self-publishing and all that. And it was just literally by the off chance. One night I thought, oh, fuck it, I'll search it again, not expecting to actually find anything. But I came across this link, and it was to Amazon. It's called KDP. I think it's Kindle Direct Publishing. So I thought, even then when I clicked on it, I thought, this is a con. They're not going to do this. It's free. Yeah, it's never this easy. But it actually was that easy.
Nice.
So you just sign up for it. It's free. I think as long as you have a Prime account or like an account with Amazon, it's completely free.
Nice.
You put it in there. You do have to get approved, which can take up to 3 days. For me, it hasn't yet. It's always taken within 24 hours.
Wow.
Either gets approved or disapproved. There is guidelines. The only guidelines they have is if it includes foul language, which my Mafia one does, you can't use their services to run an ad campaign.
Okay.
So I'd have to go somewhere else or do it off my own back to advertise, which I'm trying to do at the moment. But that's literally the only restriction that I've found so far. Obviously, copyrights, just don't put anything you shouldn't in there, and then you should be all
Yeah.
right.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Proper interview question. We ask everybody, where do you
Jesus.
see yourself in 5 years?
I should have known this was coming when we asked Jack, but
Mhm.
I didn't even prepare for this at all.
No,
5 years.
it's a difficult question. No matter where you are, what you're doing, that is a difficult question.
Yeah. I hope there's a lot more books out there. I've still got a few film projects on the go. So depending on COVID, if they get off the ground, I hope they're out there and in film festivals and all that jazz. Yeah, it's a really hard question. I'd hope by then I've settled down and found somebody. In
Yeah, so
personal
Ryan is
terms,
single,
maybe got my own
ladies.
gal. So yeah,
You mentioned you're filming. Is there any filming projects you're working on now outside of uni?
Oh, there was literally outside of uni.
Yeah.
There is a couple actually. I think I don't know what day it was. Last week I uploaded a music video I shot with one of my close friends. He's a really good biker, so we just got him on the bike, shot a few scenes. So I think I've got a few more of them coming for summer and stuff. Got a few more people involved, and I just really like that concept of just getting a camera there and just filming him doing his crazy shit.
So you did the video. Who did the song?
Yeah. So that song is actually a remix of an actual song.
Okay.
Called it is still called Show Out. Honestly, it's not even my type of music, so I don't know who sung it or anything, but I just thought my mate recommended it. I give it a listen, and I made it work in the edit, but I have no idea who originally sung it.
I'll put a link to your YouTube channel rather than the individual video, so then people can go over and see all sorts of them.
Cheers, man.
But yeah, go on.
It's like as well. I like to, even in the books, I even sometimes include names or like friends and like use friends for videos and stuff. Because I think in like a weird sort of way, you wouldn't be anywhere you are in life without your family or friends. So I think it's my sort of way of paying tribute and acknowledging that in a way. So like in my stuff, I'll always use my friends. So like when I'm doing films for uni, straight away I always hook up someone I don't know instead of getting an actual actor.
Yeah.
And like in the book, there's like references to all sorts in there. So I just think
there's a reference to is it a nightclub?
There is.
Yeah.
I had to spell it differently though to stop copyright.
Yeah.
And it's not even a nice nightclub.
Shots fired. If you want to find out which one it is, you're gonna have to have a read. So you've mentioned your filmmaking and your writing.
Yeah.
And obviously we do the podcast as well. Are there any other projects you're working on?
There is one that sort of uni, but sort of not uni. I actually don't know if I'm going to mention this one because it probably won't even win it. So I will.
Yeah.
I'll go for it. Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah. If not, they can come for me, I guess.
You sure?
Yeah, because I don't even know if it's going to happen. So
it
might even happen. We've just been given this opportunity. Was it last year, just before COVID had hit, badly hit.
Mm-hmm.
We had almost finished shooting a documentary on a Latvian woman who was come to England to set up her own business and have a better life. So not the American dream, sort of like the UK dream sort of feel. So we got that finished, and then we never thought that'd go anywhere because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
We still had a draft finished and submitted that and whatever. But then Netflix had like done a partnership with our uni sort of thing.
Nice.
Where they have a competition. And that competition's for everybody, not just our uni. But you send in like a little pitch with information, what your stuff is to them. And it's a contest. And like the top 3 will get funded and actually made and put on Netflix in 2022. So we're in the process of we've just applied, just trying to wait to see what the score is on that. But like, I don't expect like major things come out of it, but that's the latest project I've done, project I've done.
That's yeah, I think you should be fine saying that because you haven't mentioned any names of like anybody doing it with, that sort of stuff. With you mentioning Netflix then, for those of you that don't know, I'm from a place in North Wales called Wrexham, and Ryan Reynolds is actually buying out our football club.
Oh, I think I've actually heard of that.
And they're doing a documentary. So they're gonna do a documentary, and that's gonna be on Netflix and stuff. So I'm not sure when that's coming,
Get
but that's
yourself in
kind
it.
of,
Get yourself in it.
yeah, just not down to the race course and just like,
Yeah.
got the merch.
Full prediction.
Yeah. Is there anything else
Love
you
it.
want to
I love it.
mention about your books, about
Oh,
your filming, about the podcast, or anything you want to?
just that. I don't really know. I think just that for anybody that's finding this third lockdown hard, just channel your creative self because it can happen. You know, you can get good things out of stuff. If it wasn't for this lockdown, I might not even had the idea to even finish these. So
Yeah.
you've got to like always see the positive sort of thing. And the creative mind is something just it's something very special, which you have one with your photography and obviously this podcast. And when you delve into that, you just nothing else matters sort of thing. And I think as long as you channel that in the hard times, the road's never going to be easy. And it wasn't easy to get these out, but you are persistent enough and your creativity's there and you keep that up no matter what's going on in the world, it's an unstoppable sort of force.
What I'm about to say can be quite cheesy, but a lot of people, myself included, struggle to struggle to find the motivation to do anything,
Yeah.
and I can never find the right words. Especially during lockdown now, I just want to stay in bed all day. I don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
Um,
It is hard.
there's lots that I want to do. Like I want to do a lot more with the podcast, and I'm just like, I don't have any ideas, and I want to obviously, I want to write my own stuff. I want to do my photography, and there's loads of stuff going on that I want to do, but it's like I don't have.
Yeah.
I'm struggling. What advice have you got to help
It's
them sort of people?
really simple. First off, don't watch the news because you're not going to find anything good there. I've stopped watching now. If I need to know something, I'll know.
Yeah.
You're going to find out, aren't you? So turn that off. Whack some music on. Just make time for your creative brain. Like yourself, you've got enough time with lockdown. You're not doing anything. But creatively, you need to switch off completely and just get in that creative mindset. Listen to music. Don't overwork. It's like take breaks. Just get outside for a bit. It does wonders if you go on like a little walk.
That's the one I was going to bring up. If you never going outside, I think that's massive.
Literally.
I've gone about a week or so without even leaving the house, just because. Well,
honestly,
it's not that we're not allowed, but you're allowed to go for exercise. But it's like, there's only so many times you can walk around your village without getting bored.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, that gets to you. So definitely go outside, go for a walk. I even the past couple of days I've been going for walks every day, and I feel a lot better for it. And your creativity, I find that my creativity is at its best when I'm on a walk or in the shower.
Yeah, literally, and there's a reason for that as well, like because you're relaxed sort of thing. You have time for that. Where if you're at home and you're on social media, news is popping off. Boris is speaking at 8, all that shit, and just get off social media. Stop.
You might think that you are relaxing, sitting on social media or sitting watching TV, but honestly, you're not. Go and have a shower. No. Go get some fresh air. It sounds cliche, but it really does help. And that's where my creativity is at the best, and that's where like a lot of my projects I've done in the past, a lot of them have come from me being in the shower and just be like, oh, that'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
And then you just go and do it. Well, you're in the mood to do it when you get out then, so you just do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so many projects. Go on.
I think as well, like having, so we have wrestling sort of thing. You have something that it's a weekly thing that you can look forward to. Like I can have days like this week where I thought, oh shit, I've got enough. My uni's done for the week. All I'm doing now is working. And then like I think, oh wow, but it's a Rumble Sunday, and it lifts you because you have something to look forward to. Especially now where you can't go out, you can't go drinking, you can't even see your mates. If you have something to look forward to, keep doing it because you need something, don't you?
The only way that I know what day it is because of what wrestling is on. Monday nights, literally. You've got Raw. So Tuesday, I watch Raw in the morning. Tuesday nights, you've got Impact and you've got AEW Dark, both of which I'm trying to watch at the moment, especially because I'm on furlough, I'm in lockdown. What else am I going to do? Wednesdays, obviously, you've got NXT and you've got AEW Dynamite. Thursdays, I watched it last week. I'll probably watch it tonight. You've got NXT UK. It doesn't get as much. No one speaks about it. No one is interested about it, especially because they've been off for like a whole year because of COVID. But they've got some talent there. It's an extra hour to just chill, relax, something to look forward to. Friday you've got SmackDown. Saturday you've got the odd pay-per-view every now and again, and Sunday you've got the odd pay-per-view every now and again. So there's always something on, and we're really lucky because they don't mention COVID. They mentioned it recently because their top star got it, but they've lasted almost a year without even mentioning it, and that you don't want to watch wrestling and hear about COVID for 3 hours.
No.
So it's good that you can just put it on and block out the outside world. And that's what we're trying to make these podcasts are. You switch it on, you just listen, you don't think about what's going on, you just relax. Hopefully bounce some ideas off us, hopefully you're entertained by us, whatever. Yeah. Anything else to add?
Not really. I think we've pretty much covered all bases.
So like I said, we're recording this the Thursday before the Rumble. This will be out on, let me just make sure, I think it's the 9th of February, the day before our co-host's birthday. Yes, the 9th of February. So a week after this video goes live will be the Elimination Chamber quiz, which will be Ryan versus Ryan. Tomorrow we're recording our weekly podcast, episode 8, I believe. So we've been going for 8 weeks.
Yeah, that's a madness.
It's gone fast, isn't it? To be fair,
consistent as well.
And we're looking towards the Royal Rumble or whatever. Obviously, like this will be the Rumble would have happened 9 days ago. Quick prediction: men's and women's. Who's winning?
No, you are putting me on the spot. I've gone through a full list throughout this. Since January, I fought Daniel Bryan, and then on Raw I fought Edge. Then I heard the Wrestle Votes claim, so now I think they're gonna go Goldberg, and I hate it. That's what I'm saying, but I think I can see it happening, and I think they're gonna do it.
What about women's?
Women's Rhea Ripley.
I
100%.
have actually put my first bet on for a wrestling event ever.
Oh.
And I have bet on the Royal Rumble. So,
Jesus.
Do you mind knowing betting odds? Or would you rather not?
Yeah, go on. I've still got time. I might put one on myself.
So, 4-1 was Rhea Ripley. So I put a $5 on that.
All right.
Because I feel very confident.
Yeah.
But as for the women,
I think she could do it.
She's third favourite.
Who's first?
First is Bianca Belair, who I've said for months it will be, but now I've changed my mind.
Yeah.
And second is Alexa Bliss.
Ooh.
Now, when we're done,
that is a shout.
When we're done recording, I'm going to tell you my bold prediction for tomorrow. And it's amazing. I'm not even going to say it because everyone else will know, but I'm not even going to say it. Men's. I put 4 bets on for the men's. A quid here and there. I put a quid on Big E, 12-1.
Big E. Oh my god.
Put 2 quid on Nakamura, 12-1.
Okay.
A quid on Seth Rollins, 16-1.
Oh.
And a quid on Keith Lee, 4-1.
Keith Lee. Is there even one for Goldberg there?
That I haven't
not announced.
Goldberg is there. So Keith Lee has moved up to 7-1. Big E's moved 12-1. Seth Rollins 16. So who do you reckon's the favourite?
Goldberg.
Daniel Bryan. He's evens.
Still?
He's evens.
Even after Edge?
Edge is second, 9-4. Then it's Keith Lee at 7-1. So it's a 2-horse race, apparently, Bryan and Edge. Then you've got Brock Lesnar.
Oh, don't even laugh because we know it's going to happen.
Nakamura, Big E, Drew McIntyre, Cesaro. I'd love it to be Cesaro. AJ, Seth, Bray Wyatt, Sheamus, then Goldberg. Goldberg has the same odds as The Rock. So hopefully that reassures you a little bit. I'm trying to. They always put like some weird names in here for a laugh, don't they? I'm trying to think if there's Conor McGregor,
The
100 to
boogeyman.
1. Cain Velasquez, 100 to 1. Tyson Fury,
Fury,
100 to 1. It's mad that the names I've just mentioned are 100 to 1. Xavier Woods, 150 to 1. John Morrison, 150 to 1. Adam Pearce, 200. Dominic, 200.
I was thinking that the other day. Adam Pearce. Can you imagine?
Elias is 250 to 1. That's shocking. These are people that are confirmed for the match as well. Sami Zayn, 250. MVP,
Sami Zayn's
250. 500 to 1, right? Angelo Dawkins.
Oh, no.
Chad Gable. Montez Ford. Humberto Carrillo. Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode.
Friggin' hell.
1,000 to 1. Shane McMahon. Vince McMahon.
Vince McMahon. Oh.
And R-Truth. R-Truth is the same odds as Shane and Vince McMahon.
R-Truth. That is depressing for R-Truth.
Looking at the women's, so the top 6, you've got Bianca, Bliss, Rhea. Then you've got Charlotte Flair, Bayley, Becky Lynch.
I can see Becky.
Lana's 20 to 1, you know, that might be worth £1.
Lana.
I honestly think she could. Let's have a look at the messing about ones here. Sarah Logan, 150 to 1.
Sarah. Ooh.
Reckoning is 100 to 1.
Reckoning.
AJ Lee is 66 to 1. Paige is 50. Lee? Yeah. Io Shirai is 25. Who have you got up the higher end? Mickey James, 200 to 1. Tamina, 200 to 1. Someone that's been announced. Brie Bella, 200 to 1. Nikki Bella, 200 to 1. Marina Shafir, Jessamine Duke, 250 to 1. Kelly is 250 to 1.
Oh, dear.
And the highest odds at 500 to 1 is Stephanie McMahon. That's shocking, That's shocking. So, yeah, over the month of February, we have the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. We also have, did you know, on Saturday, 13th of February, there is No Surrender, I think it's called, which is Impact.
Oh, is that TNA?
Yeah. And the very next day is NXT TakeOver. And at time of recording, it hasn't got a name.
Oh, please be what I think it could be. Please.
St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
Please. We've
It's gotta be.
And it needs to come back.
Gotta be. It's on Valentine's Day. It has to be.
Do you know that's named after, like, the actual name of that was like a mafia hit back in the Al Capone days.
Really?
It's an actual event called, yeah, that's where they got it from. It was like, it was set up and like some mafia member in a room and he just got absolutely mowed down with machine guns. Yeah. It's mad, innit?
On that bright note, I need to get in touch with our March guest to see if they're going to be on. No hints, no hints.
Spoilers.
Just in case they say no. But yeah, thank you all for watching and listening. All of Ryan's information will be in the description below. And we'll see you very soon. Ciao.
Au revoir.